investigations into the incident are ongoing and authorities working to establish the identity of the victims. This plus more other stories tonight, but first let's have a look at the highlights. Tonight, 12 more bodies exhumed at the Shakahola forest as police detain controversial preacher Paul McKenzie for 30 more days.
The police are hereby allowed to hold the respondents in detention for a period not exceeding 30 days from the 3rd of May 2023.
Also tonight, Attorney General Justin Muturi says government is helpless in stopping cult-like religious institutions.
We want to know what happened around Shakahola.
Yes.
But how do we prevent such recurrence?
As some criticize state on regulation of churches.
You get one person who is doing the wrong thing, get that person.
And the government issues a raft of demands to the Azimio side as the bipartisan team begins making headway.
The creation of the office of the leader of the official opposition.
Measures to prevent interference with political parties,
whether they require an amendment to the Constitution and whether it's an amendment that would require a referendum. At this stage, it would.
Good evening and welcome to the broadcast. My name is Eric Munene. Our sign language interpreter at the bottom end of your screen is Catherine Simaloi. Detectives from the homicide unit on Wednesday managed to exhume 11 more bodies from the grave sites in Shakahola Saint Forest, collecting one body from the forest. Coast Regional Commissioner Rhoda Onyanche said so far 145 bodies have been exhumed, even as the second phase of exhumation started Tuesday. This as Kilifi Governor Gideon Mungaro differed with the national government over the alleged securing operation zone in Shakahola area, Magarini sub-county in Kilifi County. Micah Gongo kickstarts this bulletin tonight.
11 more bodies have been exhumed from the Shakahola forest. Police said they collected one more body from the same forest where phase 2 of the exercise resumed Tuesday. This raises the number of bodies so far exhumed to 145, with many more still believed to be buried in the dense forest where people were urged to starve to death in a religious cult. Coast Regional Commissioner Rhoda Onyanche says as many as 579 bodies are reported missing, including from villages around the forest.
The forensic team has been able to exhume 11 bodies. And also, we were able to collect one body from the forest. So today's total comes to 12.
The regional commissioner said 14 followers of McKenzie have been reunited with their families. Meanwhile, Kilifi Governor Gideon Mungaro has differed with the national government over the alleged securing operation zone in Shakahola area. On Tuesday, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki announced that the entire 50,000-acre Chakama Ranch was under dusk-to-dawn curfew and any person found will be arrested.
And the entire Chakama Ranch, measuring 50,000 acres, any person found making any movements, assembly, or meeting between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. will be treated as a suspect.
The statement seems to have expanded the operation beyond the 800-acre Shakahola McKenzie farm that is within the larger Chakama Ranch. Mungaro said the national government should concentrate on the 800-acre piece of land, since the other parcel was inhabited by innocent people who might get armed with extension of security operations.
Chakama 1, Chakama 2 is not affected. That land is huge. So I don't think there's many other members of the public in that area, especially where this problem is. The rest are in Chakama 2 and Chakama 1, which comes all the way to near Timboni. And the other one ends up at the side of Shakahola.
Exhuming of bodies exercise is expected to continue Thursday. Mike Kagwongo, TV 47, Nairobi.
Well, tonight the debate on how churches should be regulated is heating up, with the government saying that it could be powerless in its attempt to weed out rogue places of worship. This comes as Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's spouse, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi Gachagua, calls out the state of plans to regulate churches. Flora Limuki reports.
The Danson Mungatana-led committee to probe into the Shakahola cult has officially kick-started their investigations into the massacre-style deaths at the Shakahola forest in Kilifi County.
Thank you, Chair. It is obvious there is a problem.
First before the committee were Chief Justice Justin Muturi and officials from the Office of the Registrar of Societies who are at the pains to explain if the controversial churches are registered entities as per the law.
We know for a fact it will require much more than just the registrar. The registrar can only say you have not complied with this, and I think the Registrar General has explained the level, the capacity for regulation that is given to the office. File your returns, don't do this.
It is here where it was revealed that Pastor McKenzie registered his Good News International Church in September of 2010 and has been tax compliant until last year when his trouble in paradise began.
These people are not filing. In fact, one of the churches here has not filed its own returns since you gave them the certificate. What is so difficult about taking a drastic action under the law so that you send a message?
There is no further documentation, correspondence between ourselves and Good News Church, because as the AG has rightly said, unless they come to file returns or change their constitution or officials, we don't have any other interaction with the registered society.
As of now, 6 people have been listed as officials of the church, even as they revealed that they have written to the Paul McKenzie-led Good News International Church to show cause why their churches should not be closed following the events at Shakahola. It was here that it was also revealed that the New Life Prayer Center led by Pastor Ezekiel Odero is also a registered entity, having been registered in 2012, but it is yet to fulfill its tax obligations.
Even the other one, you've had since registration in 2012, notwithstanding that they know that they are required to file returns, they have never filed a single return to date.
There is no law in this country to tax churches. But for Pastor Ezekiel, he's the first one. His church was closed. History. He's the first one the government wants to tax.
This as Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's spouse, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, has slammed the government over its intentions to regulate churches in the midst of the Shakahola cult tragedy.
The Church of Jesus Christ is not an individual. If you get one person who is doing the wrong thing, get that person.
The committee has 90 days to establish circumstances that led to the deaths of the faithfuls of the Good News International Church, which is linked to the controversial Pastor Paul McKenzie. Flora Limuki, TV47.
To matters related to that, the Shanzu Law Court has extended by 30 days the detention of now infamous preacher Paul McKenzie, who authorities accuse of ordering followers to fast to death. Paul Muniu with more.
As the horrific mysteries of the Shakahola forest in Kilifi County continues to cause concern both locally and internationally, the main suspect, controversial Paul McKenzie, accused of brainwashing his followers to fast to death, will tonight continue being a guest of the state for 30 more days as investigations intensify. Earlier on, the state had prayed for 90 days to detain McKenzie, citing pending investigations relating to mass killing in Shakahola, where the second phase of exhumation of bodies is underway. The state would argue that a release of the 18 respondents would jeopardize investigations, interfere with the witnesses, put their life in danger, or dispose of evidence acquired so far in the probe. In his ruling, the Shanzu Senior Principal Magistrate Yusuf Shikanda would weigh the facts and nature of the case and therefore grant an application by the state to hold McKenzie and the co-accused under custody for more days.
The police are hereby allowed to hold the respondents in detention for a period not exceeding 30 days from the 3rd of May 2023.
They will therefore be detained for additional 23 days at various police stations where the respondents shall be granted access to advocates and family members be allowed to communicate with any person of their choice by phone.
The respondents, while in custody, shall at all times be treated in a humane manner and with respect for their inherent human dignity.
Well, in any event that the state will require an extension of the custodial period, they will be required to submit a report indicating what investigations have been done, the findings, and what is left. Paul Munio, TV47, Mombasa.
Moving on, the preacher who has nicknamed himself Jesus of Tongaren was interviewed by the Bungoma County Police Commander Francis Colley regarding his religious teachings and activities. Wekesa, who was accompanied by his followers, said that he has nothing to hide or fear as the moon and the sun are his witnesses even in court. According to the police commander, his call was to serve the public interest and protect the faith of Christians.
Kitu ya mwanzo ni kuangalia kumsikiza huyu ndugu. Baada ya kumsikiza ndio hapo sasa kutakuja na masuala ya kipolisi na kisheria, tutamhoji kulingana na hizo njia. Kama kuna ufunjaji wa sheria tutamuelezea pia kulikuwa na ufunjaji wa sheria. Lakini wakati huu siwezi kusema kwamba kumekuwa na ufunjaji wa sheria kwa sababu tayari ni mahojiano. Katika nafasi hii ya mahojiano hautakuja kusema kwamba amefunja sheria.
Shukuru Mwenyezi Mungu kwa ajili ya siku ya leo, kwa ajili ya maandalizi ambayo ameitenda. Nimefika mahali hapa maana Madam OCS wa sub-county ya Mkuyuni alikuja kwa boma na akanieleza ya kwamba mkubwa huku county commander ananihitaji tukue na mazungumzo naye. Na nikasema ya kwamba nitakuja, na leo nimefika na nimeshukuru Mungu maana palipo na wasee haparipiki chambo.
Let's shift our gears now. Human rights groups in Kisumu have come up to condemn the act where a police officer allegedly shot a student to death, claiming that it is illegal. Now, the organization, have now turned the heat on the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, for the delay in investigating the matter. They have also demanded the removal of all roadblocks within Kisumu town, citing that it is through the roadblocks that the killed student lost her life.
The whole of this morning, we went to visit the patients in various hospitals in Kisumu to see their conditions. What we found there is very sad that some of them still have bullets lodged in their bodies. These suspects were to be arraigned in court today. In the morning, they changed the version that IPOA has taken over these cases. Yes, we agree, and we also appreciate that IPOA, being an independent body, has the capacity to investigate this matter to the end. But now we are at the IPOA office. We were here in the morning, and we are here again now. Not that we never made appointment. We made appointment, the morning appointment, and even the appointment at this hour we made with them. Unfortunately, they are still on the process of writing reports from various witnesses, which is a process allowed in law. I have no problem with that. But we are saying that we cannot record statement forever. We cannot record statement to the time Jesus will come. We are giving IPOA at the end of today, they must, and I want to repeat that, they must complete their statement recording because we are the ones that availed. We made these witnesses to be available. We made these witnesses to be available.
And the members you see here have been working closely with the people that were at the crime scene to volunteer critical and crucial information, including key witnesses. But we are concerned that up to date, IPOA promised to have a sitting and engage.
Well, moving on, 2 people have been confirmed dead and 11 others sustained serious injuries after a truck lost control and crashed into pedestrians and 5 vehicles on the Migori-Kisii-Isebania highway. And as Elizabeth Atieno now reports, this accident comes just a month after a similar accident at the same place.
These were the sights and scenes in Karkao area, Migori County, for the better part of Wednesday. Thousands of disturbed residents flooded this area as rescue operators and ambulances made their way to salvage 10 residents in urgent need of medical attention.
Hii ajali vile ilianzia, hii tipa ilitoka hapa juu, ilikuwa inakuja mbio kabisa, ikapata magari zingine hapo kando zikisimamishwa hapo kando. Wakati alipanda hizo magari, alianza kufunja magari kabisa, mpaka kuna watu ambao waliumia.
According to eyewitnesses, the truck lost its brakes while plying the Awendo Migori road as it approached the Posta roundabout at Posta grounds in Migori. The lorry hit some pedestrians on the way and hit the front part of the Faulu Bank and other people who were seated at the front part of the bank going about their businesses. 6 people were retrieved from the knocked down vehicles, including the lorry driver, and the other 3 were picked up near the entrance to the bank, injured, and are now receiving treatment at the Migori County Referral Hospital.
Hao watu wenye waliumia kabisa tuliwatoa ndani ya shimo, tukaweka kwa ambulance, tukapeleka district hospital. Sasa nilikuwa naomba government ya Migori ambayo mheshimiwa Ochilo una yako mbo kucheleweke nyamnyam. Tulisasema hizi magari zenye zinafanywa parking kando ya barabara, tafadhali governor, tunakuomba uondolee hizi magari zote.
Nimepata ajali hapa. Nimeona hiyo gari imepita na watu hadi odia mwenye alikuwa anauza simu hapa chini. Amepita nayo. Mtoto wa Sole amepita nayo hapa chini.
Also present at the scene was North Kanyamkago Ward MCA George Omamba, who urged the county government of Migori to put in place stringent measures that will help bring sanity to all roads in the county. The vehicle is said to have had a mechanical problem and had been serviced in Kisii County.
With a view of diverting the lorries from using the main highway here to be diverted to the other, from Kakrao, there is another route that will be passing through Kiringibri. I think bigger lorries and other bigger vehicles or high-heavy vehicles are supposed to be using that route.
This accident happens barely a month after a similar occurrence was witnessed on the 8th of April, where at least 8 people lost their lives and dozens were left nursing serious injuries after a truck loaded with bags of rice rammed into parked motorbikes and pedestrians along Migori-Isebania highway. Elizabeth Atieno, TV 47.
Well, may their families find comfort in this difficult time. Now, Kenya and the United Kingdom have agreed to enhance the Kenya-UK Security Compact to combat emerging regional and global security threats such as transnational, organized crime, illicit financial flows, and terrorism. In a signed agreement Wednesday during a meeting between Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki and UK Security Minister Tom Tugendhat at Harambee House, Nairobi, Kindiki noted that the deal is meant to strengthen the already existing strong and cordial ties between the two allied nations. The signed agreement will see the two states finalizing an implementation of a framework on intelligence sharing on matters maritime security and learning from both countries.
The flow of illicit financial activities and to be able to rein in on money laundering and the financing of terrorism and other illegal activities. Other than that, we have also signed a letter of intent for cooperation between Kenya and the United Kingdom in information sharing with regard to maritime security. And therefore, going forward, our teams will be finalizing on the action plan so that our two countries can collaborate in enhancing a maritime security by sharing information and learning from the experiences of each other.
And so working together is the only way to secure the British people, just as it's the only way to secure the Kenyan people. So this partnership, building on a long and deep history of friendship, is exactly what we need to be doing together. And I'm very proud to have a friend in Professor Kindiki, who is showing the leadership in fighting money laundering, corruption, terrorism, and state threats, all together and all united.
To politics now. Tonight, Kenya Kwanza and Azimio representatives in the ongoing bipartisan talks have agreed on the agenda of the talks amid a warning by Azimio leader Raila Odinga to Kenya Kwanza to stop using UDA-allied Jubilee MPs to scuttle the talks. This as President Ruto's push to checkmate the opposition on demonstrations, creation of the office of the official opposition leader, and bringing to closure last year's poll dispute became part of the agenda in the talks. Our senior political affairs reporter Paulo Kamau with that.
President William Ruto, through his representatives in the ongoing bipartisan talks, tabled a 7-point agenda in a move seen to checkmate Azimio leader Raila Odinga's 5-point agenda in what is seen as a give-and-take affair on a day Kenya Kwanza and Azimio agreed on the issues the two sides will engage on.
Three things that were major which were outstanding: the framework agreement, the tabling of the issues, and the settling on the nature of the talks. Today we have resolved two of them. Tomorrow morning, among others, the nature of the talks will take center stage.
The president, who all along maintained Kenya Kwanza's agenda will be the reconstitution of IEBC, has now introduced 6 other issues, among them the creation of the office of the official opposition leader, cessation of hostilities during demonstrations by seeking a review of Article 37 of the Constitution on the right to picket, while seeking closure on last year's election dispute and preventing another bombast debacle.
Legal framework to give effect to Article 37 of the Constitution of Kenya so as to regulate the conduct and assignment of responsibilities to different parties, including organizers of demonstrations.
The Azimio coalition has tacked their 4 key demands, save for the delimitation of constituency boundaries, the cost of living, restructuring of IEBC, and measures to prevent state interference in political parties, sealing Azimio's agenda in the talks.
Audit of the 2022 presidential elections results.
Despite the signs of goodwill, the fate of the bipartisan talks still hangs in the balance after Odinga accused Kenya Kwanza of sponsoring the Kanini Kega Jubilee Party faction to scuttle the talks by demanding inclusion. Odinga warning, and I quote, "Kenya Kwanza must take a final notice from us that they risk scuttling a very serious national agenda through short-sighted intransigence, dishonesty, and a game of musical chairs." The bipartisan team has also drawn new timelines for the talks, pegging the talks to 2 months instead of the earlier 30 days ultimatum issued by Odinga. With the two sides making a crucial step forward, the challenge now is how to unpack the details, especially on the issue of IEBC and demos, and strike consensus. Apul Kamau, TV47 in Nairobi.
Ultimate security now. Police officers in Baringo County have arrested a suspected member of a gang of 4 bandits who have been carrying out robberies in several shopping centers in Baringo, including Marigat, Koriema, and Sendai. As City Josephine now tells us.
Police officers in Baringo County have arrested an alleged member of a gang of 4 bandits said to have been carrying out robberies in several shopping centers in Baringo, including Marigat, Koriema, and Sendai. According to Baringo County Police Commander Julius Kirago, the suspect, identified as Paul Siampalememet, was found in possession of a gun with 5 bullets after searching his house.
Tuliweza kupata one of the thugs ambaye wamekuwa akihangaisha hii area Marigat for the last almost 1 month. Tumpata tukaweza kusearch nyumba yake na kupata bunduki na ikiwa na risasi 5. Kuangalia simu yake tukapata amejipika ile maselfie akiwa na hiyo bunduki na pia ile pesa yenye amekuwa akiiba.
Kiragu says the suspect was identified through images captured on CCTV cameras when they allegedly raided a shop in Marmat area, adding that one of the other suspects who is still on the run is a Form 3 student in a school in Baringo South constituency.
They are operating wakiwa watu 4 ambao hao wengine bado wako tuko na details zao. It's a matter of time before we get them. Mkiangalia kwa ile CCTV ya ile wizi ya Marmat anaapia this guy here anaapia kwa hiyo CCTV. One of them is a student, in fact he's a Form 3 student in one of the schools in Baringo South.
The arrest came less than a day after 2 men allegedly involved in livestock theft cases were arrested in Tanglubai area Tiati constituency.
We are certain kwamba this is a breakthrough. And maybe that issue ya insecurity and robberies in Marigat is solved.
The 2, James Kipkopas and Apura Kipkopas, have also been linked to a motorcycle theft cases and were arrested after police officers received information from the public.
Hizi pikipiki wakiiba here wanaenda wanapeleka Isiolo ama wanapeleka Meru. Once they sell pikipiki wanaenda wananunua risasi upande wa Isiolo. Wakinunua those risasi ndio wanakuja kuuzia watu pande hii.
Chichi Josephine, TV47.
Now moving on, police in Matungu, Kakamega County have arrested a man and his 2 wives for allegedly running an unlicensed children's home. The suspect, Morgan Odundo, and his wives are believed to have rented an apartment where they are alleged to be supporting over 10 children aged between 2 to 14 years, but in turn assaulted them. The children are currently receiving treatment at Matungu Hospital, where it was confirmed that 2 girls had sadly been defiled.
However, from my interviews, one of the child alleges to have been defiled by the owner of this home. So we are yet to confirm that with the medical results.
Tumepeleka watoto kwa hospitali leo hii kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba hawajadhulumiwa. Na watoto ambao tumepeleka kule wamekuwa watoto 6. Kwa bahati mbaya ripoti za hospitali zinaonyesha kwamba watoto 2 wameweza kudhulumiwa. Kwa hivyo sisi kama serikali ya gatuzi chini ya uongozi wa Mheshimiwa Gavana Fernandez Baraza tunahakikishia wananchi kwamba kesi hii tutahakikisha kwamba tuna wanasheria ambao wataichukulia kuanzia hapa kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba mashtaka ambayo yatawekwa na tuwe na ushahidi wa kutosha, kwa sababu huyu mhusika ambaye ameshiriki katika hii kesi tumepia baini ya kwamba si mara yake ya kwanza. Aliweza kushiriki katika mambo kama haya hapo awali na akaweza kuachiliwa kwa kukosa ushahidi. Hakukuwa na mashahidi wa kuweza kuelezea kile ambacho kilitokea.
Quite sad. Now, Kenya is facing a serious shortage of skilled plumbers and masons as many students opt for courses that they perceive to be more glamorous rather than technical. This has become a major concern for stakeholders who are urging the youth to consider blue-collar jobs and training as artisans. According to experts, there is a scarcity of labor in these fields, which has led to a significant gap in the market. Have a look.
TVET institutions have proven to play a very central role in the country's socio-economic well-being as they offer skills that power innovation and industrialization, thereby boosting the economy and creating jobs. Rift Valley Institute of Business Studies Director Mr. John Gitau has raised concerns about serious gaps in the academic institutions of the minority group that does not make it to the university.
We have seen the gap that because the government ably takes maximum care of what we call the basic education. That's from primary up to secondary. Also again, the government does a good job in taking good care of those who have made it with A's and let's say C plus and above when they go to university. They are reasonably well taken care of. But this middle group, those who might not make it to go to university, they are not sometimes taken good care of.
While noting that the country is in need of middle-level workers, Mr. Gitau further stated that there is need for hiring certified workers to to ensure efficient service delivery to drive the economy.
If you look at the world, the country called Germany has proven itself. Most of its development is because of what happens in the TVET sector. And us as an institution, we have taken all those learnings from outside the country and from within the country to actually position ourselves. And how we have positioned ourselves is actually by identifying what the country needs. And we have identified that what the country needs is the middle level workers. The people who actually drive the economy are the people who work with their hands. The people who can be able to actually convert theories into practice.
While showcasing their talents in their respective fields, these students at Rift Valley Institute of Business Studies say there is a ray of hope in bettering TVETs, urging students who didn't make it to the universities to join TVETs and pursue their courses of choice.
It's a career opportunity for everybody, more so those who never qualified to go to university. This is a field whereby you can earn a living because it's a field where the careers are many.
Hii ni poa kwa sababu unajua kuna exposure, like we nini practicals, we do them like ni kama tuko huko nje. So hii exposure, it's good. At least tukienda huko hivyo nje, you know what you are doing.
Regarding the ongoing debate on TVETs being converted into university colleges, Mr. Gitao opposes their idea, saying TVET institutions use a hands-on approach in training, further proposing that every student should have a TVET level of education, whether they are undertaking a course in university or not.
I will not advocate at all for TVET institutions to be converted to universities. I would rather we have all TVET institutions expanded to the extent that they will be training, and then a small percentage of them will be progressing from TVET and then going again to progress to university, but not conversion.
Chichi Josephine, TV47.
Well, at 30 minutes past the hour, time now for a very short break. Don't go away. We'll be back with much more.
Wakati mwingine kama weekend, mimi najiachilia.
Hata ukumbuki history. Nikifika watu wangu wakinipokea na kupokeleka. Umeset the mood. Nimeset the mood. Naweza kupokeleka. Nikitumai kwamba mzima popote pale ulipo, nikikukaribisha katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi. Jina langu Elizabeth Mutuku, na katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi tunakupa nafasi kutangamana nao kila siku ya Alhamisi kuanzia saa 1:30 kuendelea siku nyingine. Tutapatana papa hapa umjue kiongozi mwingine.
Jiunge nasi toka hapa hadi ufuoni mwa bahari. Meli yetu itakapotua nanga kwa uhondo ribo ya riwaya hii mwisho wa kosa. Monica.
It's early morning in Maralal. Start your morning informed, educated, entertained, and above all, know your country.
From the beautiful plains of Samburu County to the skyscrapers of Nairobi, Morning Cafe certainly got you covered. Indeed, a beautiful place to watch and certainly a moment of understanding and knowing your country. Indeed, to the remotest parts of every county.
Join me, Linda Alela, every weekday from 6 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
Wakati mwingine kama weekend, mimi najiachilia.
Hata ukumbuki history. Nikifika watu wangu wakinipokea na kupokeleka. Umeset the mood. Nimeset the mood. Naweza kupokeleka. Nikitumai kwamba mzima popote pale ulipo, nikikukaribisha katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi. Jina langu Elizabeth Mutuku, na katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi tunakupa nafasi kutangamana nao kila siku ya Alhamisi kuanzia saa 1:30 kuendelea siku nyingine. Tutapatana papa hapa umjue kiongozi mwingine.
Jiunge nasi toka hapa hadi ufuoni mwa bahari. Meli yetu itakapotua nanga kwa uhondo ribo ya riwaya hii mwisho wa kosa. Monica.
It's early morning in Maralal. Start your morning informed, educated,
entertained, and above all, know your country. From the beautiful plains of Samburu County to the skyscrapers of Nairobi, Morning Cafe certainly got you covered. Indeed, a beautiful place to watch and certainly a moment of understanding and knowing your country. Indeed, to the remotest parts of every county.
Join me, Linda Alela, every weekday from 6 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
As one strong.
Wakati mwingine kama weekend, mimi najiachilia.
Hata ukumbuki history. Nikifika watu wangu wakinipokea na kupokeleka. Umeset the mood. Nimeset the mood. Naweza kupokeleka. Nikitumai kwamba mzima popote pale ulipo nikikukaribisha katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi. Jina langu Elizabeth Mutuku, na katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi tunakupa nafasi kutangamana nao kila siku ya Alhamisi kuanzia saa 1:30 kuendelea siku nyingine. Tutapatana papa hapa umjue kiongozi mwingine.
Jiunge nasi toka hapa hadi ufuoni mwa bahari. Meli yetu itakapotua nanga kwa uhondo ribo ya riwaya hii mwisho wa kosa. Monica.
Give proposals on the financial bill 2023 that has been received with mixed reactions. Accountants and business advisors under the PKF umbrella have faulted the bill's recommended turnover tax, which ought to be revised from 1% to 3%.
So the proposal to actually narrow that net for turnover tax, we think should be relooked, because then what is the encouragement for a small business to come forth and declare taxes when basically if it's turnover of above 15 million, then they'll be required to pay tax at a higher rate. Although they'll be allowed the expenses for the same, but the challenges and the difficulties that comes with having to account for expenses against income is another issue. And what the finance bill is proposing, for any person who had paid taxes as of 31st of December 2022, and that discussion of disposable income has a ripple effect to the purchasing power. Now, if the government interferes with the amount of disposable income Kenyans have, automatically then it means you will see a decrease in VAT, you will see a decrease in excise duty, because Kenyans will not be in a position to purchase as much as they could.
Inflation adjustment on excise. As you all know that the excise duty, the commissioner has power to adjust the prices on the specific goods that have been listed on the excise duty, but the bill proposes to remove that provision, which means that it will be easy for the investors, or rather the persons in Kenya carrying on business, they'll be able to predict the prices of these excise goods through maybe the finance bill, and not just every year or every quarterly being done by the commissioner. Another positive thing is about the manufacturers in terms of plastics.